Does this Halloween store have the best animatronic lineup of 2025? Well, let's talk about that. What's up, Honors? I hope you're all having an awesome day. So of course today we're talking about something that I've never talked about before on this channel. It's of course this Halloween store from the UK, which I'm not sure how many of you actually know of. Me personally, I only found out about this the other day. But of course it's this place called the Halloween Store UK, and it's basically just a big Halloween store. I'm not exactly sure if it's a chain or if it's an online retailer or exactly what it is, but a couple of days ago, they released their first wave of animatronics for 2025, it seems. And wow, I've got to say, their lineup looks insane. They have some really good animatronics here, and maybe even one of the best animatronic lineups of 2025, you know. This may even beat the Lowe's lineup, who knows? But anyways, this stuff here is really cool, and even though we're not really able to get this stuff here in Canada and the US, I think it's still really cool to talk about because they have some awesome animatronics here. So anyways, today we're going to be looking through all the stuff that they have for pre-order now. So anyways, that's enough talking for the intro. Let's of course get to talk about all these awesome new animatronics from the Halloween Store UK for 2025. Alright, so getting into it, it looks like we have 7 different animatronics here. I'll of course just go in the order that they're listed here on the website. Of course, starting off with this one right here, which looks awesome. This right here, of course, is the punk rock skeleton duo, which this thing right here is a sick one. Basically, look at these guys right here. You get these 2 skeletons right here, which look really awesome. Of course, you know, they kind of have that punk rock sort of look to them, you know. They got like the leather jackets on, the leather pants and everything, like their crazy hairs up there, and then they got their sick guitars right there. And yeah, of course, we also have video for this one, which I'll put up on screen, which I like all the animation and features these guys have. Of course, it looks like they have the LCD eyes, which I don't really see companies use as much anymore. I know the 12-footers use them a lot, but honestly, they don't use too much more in animatronics, which sucks a bit, but yeah, it's cool to see these guys using it. It looks like they, of course, both have the head movement, the mouth movement, and of course the hand movement. Looks like they're strumming the guitar. So overall, quite a bit of movement and features on these guys. And of course, it looks like they also play the song Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss, so that's an awesome song for them to play too. And yeah, overall, I love that look of these guys. Like, I would definitely get these guys if I could. These would look so good with my skeleton band, you know. Just, yeah, how they look is really cool, and then, yeah, just all the features and everything, it's amazing. So overall, a great animatronic, and these may even be the best of these, like, music playing skeleton animatronics we've ever done. Maybe even better than the ones we've seen from Lowe's and then all these other stores because, yeah, these ones are just so awesome. I love it. Anyways, carrying on right here, we've got a Headless Horseman animatronic, which this, I'm not 100% sure if this is a new model of it or if it's just one that they're selling out this store that's from another retailer of the past. This could, of course, be one that we've seen before, like Home Depot or more something, but either ways, I still do really like the look of this guy right here. It's awesome. You know, it's just that classic Headless Horseman guy. He's got the head up there that he's holding in one hand. It's like this pumpkin head. Then he's got this horse right here, which kind of looks like a zombie horse. He, of course, has some like head movement or something there. And yeah, overall, it's awesome. Now, one thing I will say is it does seem a bit weird having the poles kind of going up to support him. But I understand why they have that, you know, to have him up like on his feet like that, it makes sense, but I just wish they figured out some better way to hide that. Anyways, we do also have video of this guy, which I will put up on screen, where it looks like he does have head animation. He's got the animation there with the legs, and then of course the body animation right there. So overall, some awesome animation for this guy. And yeah, overall, this guy, I do like the look of him. He does look very familiar for me, so I am pretty sure we've seen him at another store before, but overall, he's a cool one to be a part of their lineup. Yeah, either ways, this guy right here is a really awesome one, and cool to see as part of their lineup. Anyways, carrying on, it seems like we're getting quite a few nun animatronics this year. I know Spirit is rumored to have one. I think there's some other retailer that may have had one too. But overall, it looks like this place here is also going to have a nun animatronic, which this one right here looks interesting. Of course, it's simply just called the Haunted Nun animated prop. This one, I assume, isn't a licensed one. It's just a creepy nun. But overall, this one right here looks interesting. Of course, she's sort of like hunched over. She's got that creepy face right there, almost zombified, I could say. Got the candle there in the one hand, and overall looks creepy. And of course, I'll throw up the video on screen, which overall, animation-wise, looks like it does only have the mouth animation, which, you know, isn't too great. I wish it would have more, but it is a cheaper animatronic, so it's not the worst thing ever. So yeah, overall, an interesting animatronic. Not personally one of my most favorites ever, but, you know, I still do like the look of it. It's audio animation, you know, it's decent for what it is. So overall, not too bad. Not one of my personal favorites, but still cool to see. And of course, carrying on, we've got an animatronic we've seen before right here. This guy, of course, comes from Home Depot. This is, of course, the animated Boogeyman, which, you know, not too much to say about this guy. We've, of course, seen him in the past, and it's interesting that they're getting this guy right here. Always thought that stores, like, had their props licensed or stuff, but I guess maybe licenses expire when they're not going to be selling these animatronics anymore. I'm not too sure how exactly it works, but yeah, overall, this store is going to be selling the Boogeyman this year, which is really awesome. I love this guy. He's probably one of the best Boogeyman characters we've seen out there. Spirit Halloween had a pretty solid one, and from that, we haven't seen anything too crazy out there, but this guy, I think, probably the best Boogeyman out there. I especially love that face on him. You know, he's got the nice hair up there. He's got the mouth, which is like all sort of trapped shut, which is cool. And yeah, that face just so creepy. You know, like the arms right there with the hands, and then, yeah, clothing's awesome. And he's massive too, 7.5 foot, really big prop. And yeah, of course, animation for this guy. He's got a few things going on. Of course, his hands there move. He turns side to side, and then he sort of has mouth movement. His mouth doesn't move too much, but he does kind of have that little bit of movement. And yeah, of course, I forgot about this, but his arms also look like the hands right there light up, which is a cool extra detail. So yeah, overall, this guy is a really awesome one to see. And yeah, he's such an awesome animatronic. Definitely one of my favorites from when they first sold him at Home Depot, which I believe was in 2023, I want to say. So overall, an amazing animatronic, and cool to see him being sold as part of their lineup this year. And carrying on, next up here, we got Mr. Hyde, the anime Gravedigger prop, which this one looks interesting right here. It's basically just a Gravedigger, you know. It doesn't seem like they've done anything too crazy with the design on this guy, of course. He's just got the shovel there in the one hand. He's got that sort of old man-y vibe going on. He's got the top hat up there. He's got the coat on and everything. So yeah, overall, basically look for this guy. But the really cool thing is when this guy is, of course, animated. Because, of course, it looks like he has this animation where his head spins around, of course, after he covers it by a shovel. And then reveals this creepy zombified face. Of course, put the video up on screen, but yeah, you can basically see what I'm talking about. Overall, that's a really cool animation, though. It does suck a little bit how it has the shovel that covers up the face. I guess it tries to make it an illusion where, like, his face just goes from his normal face to the zombified face, like it doesn't flip or anything. Yeah, overall, I do wish they would have made him a bit more interesting. Like, you know, he just looks like such a simple prop, but yeah, the animation right there, I'm a huge fan of that. That's so awesome. Just flips around to reveal this really cool zombified face. He's a pretty big one at 6.5 feet. And overall, this is one that maybe I want to get if I could. Like, you know, it has a really cool animation and everything, and yeah, if you do a graveyard, this would be perfect for it. So overall, this guy right here, an awesome animatronic, and maybe one of my favorites from their lineup here. I'm not too sure. Anyways, carrying on, next up here, we got a prototype animatronic, which I talked about a while ago because there's rumors that it might be sold at Morris, which of course it didn't, but it looks like now they're going to be picking up this prototype at this store right here, which is really cool. And this guy right here, of course, is Arty the Evil Clown, which this guy right here looks insane. I love just the idea of this guy, you know. Clowns, they're always just such, like, common props, you know. We get the same thing year after year. But this guy, I like how they sort of changed up that vibe and made him a painter, which still, like, I don't know. It doesn't make too much sense to have him as a painter to me. I don't know what it is about it, but well, clown and painter seems a little bit weird, but still it is nice. I definitely like that look of him. He's got that cool, just like baseball cap hat up there, which I think is interesting design choice, but I like how it works. He's pretty much just got the painter's clothing on there with the red paint splatter all over it, kind of represent blood probably. Then yeah, the blue and red hair, he's pretty much got a blue and red color scheme going on all over him, looks like. And of course, we also have a video of this guy, which I'll throw up on screen. Of course, it looks like he has side to side and then arm movement. I assume he also has mouth animation, which may have just not been work on this guy. He probably is a prototype or a early version of this guy. But overall, he's very awesome, a solid clown animatronic. And yeah, for him, he's almost 7 foot tall, so a really big guy. So overall, this guy right here, he looks insane, and yeah, it's cool that they're gonna be selling this prototype guys here. And of course, carrying on, we've got one more animatronic to talk about. This guy right here is, of course, Velkyn The Gatekeeper animated gargoyle, which this guy here is an alright looking one. It, yeah, pretty much just is this gargoyle guy right here. He's on top of the stand and everything, and he looks a bit more like a cheaper animatronic. He might be Sunstar or Gemini or something, but still, he does have a decent vibe going on. Of course, looking at him right here, the gargoyle thing on top, which looks more like a bat, but got him up here. I love the face design on him. He's got the big wings up there. He's got his feet sticking out. There's some arms too. Then a little stand he's on, like, it doesn't look too good, the stand. I don't know, it's just like printed fabric, so I feel like they could have done better, but like, it looks decent for what it is. Of course, animation on this guy looks like he just has the animation where the wings go up when he's activated, and then he just has that laughing track, which, Yeah, overall, it's a more simpler guy. Definitely looks like something Sunstore would make, but still, I do think the look of him's alright. Like, the bat face right there looks really creepy and everything, so overall, simpler animatronic, nothing too crazy, but yeah, overall, the gargoyle guy right here, he looks alright, and probably my least favorite of their lineup, but still a decent one. Anyways, with all that said, everyone, that pretty much finishes it for today's video. Overall, just final thoughts on the lineup right here. It looks really awesome. Surprised I've never really heard of this store before. I wonder if they've had cool animatronic lineups in the past too, but yeah, all you people in the UK, you're lucky that you get some cool animatronics like this. I believe usually, like outside of North America, there isn't too much selection for Halloween animatronics, so it's cool that you have a store like this. But yeah, anyways, definitely tell me down below what you think about all these animatronics, because I think they all look really awesome. And tell me if there's any that you would want to get if they sold them here. But anyways, that of course is it for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And of course, I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.